I think
and
that's his
he
personality because he
yes.
was on his shows. He's always like laughing and cracking kind of dad
Yeah,
jokes all
yeah.
the time.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny because it's funny that you mentioned Marcellus because I actually was watching that and fell asleep to it just now. I've got another like 10 minutes, to
Yeah, I
see what he
watched that this
says.
afternoon. I watched it this afternoon. So if y'all are just joining, shout out to everybody on TikTok. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. If you're just joining, we're speaking about obviously the FS1 lawsuit. I'm gonna read a couple details from this, and it's pretty damning. So today is a crazy day.
Yeah.
It's my turn, Mr. Skip. It's my turn, Bayless. He apparently is, according to Faraji, I don't know how to pronounce her first name, so I'm gonna just continue with this. According to Miss Faraji, Bayless offered her 1.5 for the P, and that is a tweet from from Des Bryant, which had me just dying in laughter. $1.5 million for the P. And this, according to her, this include lingering hugs, kisses on the cheek, while putting his body against hers, pressing against her breast during the normal course of Bayless's hairstyling. Let me just say this quickly as a disclaimer. I don't condone any type of this behavior. I don't agree with
Right.
any of this behavior. Obviously, if it's not clear, I don't feel like women should be coerced or pressured into having sex with men or women if they choose not to. I feel like it is their right to say no, and it should be respected
Yep.
and and validated with their feelings and words. Now, to continue, Mr. Bayless was not hearing these words, the words no. Instead, he was saying, "It's my turn," because apparently in this lawsuit, he told Miss Faraji that Shannon Sharp got a turn, and he wanted one. He wanted
My
one.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bunch of racism as well.
Oh my
She mentioned about
gosh.
her having a wife. Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your father have 3 or 4 wives? She mentioned that her father was dead. And again, I'll read this one. Miss Farazi's job was threatened. He called her voluptuous. This is a lot of nonsense. But okay, so her job was threatened because she did not sleep with Mr. Bayless. Answered the door, and before she could speak, he accused Miss Faraji of getting intimate with Shannon Sharp, giving the box to Shannon Sharp. Miss Faraji tried to explain, and I'm gonna pause right there. She shouldn't even have did that. That's her prerogative if she wanted to do that. But Miss Faraji tried to explain that she did not have any feelings toward Mr. Sharp and had never slept with him or any talent member or employee at Fox. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated, "It's my turn." And he started to talk to Miss. He talked and he said that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharp about her vagina. Now, I guess I mean we're gonna be talking about Bayless and of course we're gonna talk about Miss the lovely Joy Taylor who I adore. But I want to stay on Skip right quick. How do you feel like this? I guess damages or how do you feel like he can recover from this, or how do you feel like his legacy is now?
I feel like there's gonna be so many podcasts and TV show appearances and all this sort of stuff
By Bayless?
because by everyone by the Draymond Green podcast by who else has he gone, like I can't wait to hear what Kwame Brown has to say.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant he's gonna be on these shows. They're gonna.
No,
Oh, okay, got it.
yeah, but like he's been taking shots at people, criticizing them, kind of unfairly for decades at this point.
For
I
sure.
mean, it's just and these are some pretty serious allegations. There's actually a class action lawsuit, right? Like they're
Yeah.
coming after a lot of people, and there's a lot of unnamed people as well. Des Bryant, yeah, it's already start.
He tweeted at him. He
Yeah,
tweeted at him. He tweeted
yeah.
at him.
This is
1.5
this
for the P.
it's a pretty
That's
crazy like
crazy.
downfall
Crazy.
for Skip because he's obviously not on that show anymore, Undisputed. Um, they made a huge investment in him, right? Like they changed the entire show, brought in Lil Wayne, right? Brought in Paul Pierce and all these people to try to mix and match with him, and then so he leaves, right? And then he finally starts doing like a media tour, going on all these
Yeah.
shows and sort of marketing his new what is it? His new is it his new YouTube show or
The
whatever?
Skip Bayless show.
The Skip Bayless show, yeah, and finally I guess he's just starting to make some progress, and then this thing comes out. It's going from bad to worse for Skip. I think his legacy is kind of it's I don't know, like you can make like a 30 for 30 of it, right? It's like
30 for 30.
Yeah, it's like the downfall, like the downward spiral, you know.
So yeah, I definitely want to keep the focus because a lot of people like, and Twitter's been, I don't even want to say a lot of people, but a lot of people, I feel like it sucks. And again, I'll get to Joy in a minute before I even bring this up. I'll get
Sure.
to Joy in a
Yeah.
minute. But what I will say is this, I think we were speaking about this off air. It just sucks. So, obviously for Ernestine, she's older.
Right.
Now if they do happen to, which I don't think will happen, because if you're like dumb rich, I don't feel like you're gonna get divorced if you're dumb rich for the most
Right.
part. I mean, that rarely happens. Sometimes it happens, but I feel like that rarely happens. But again, I just feel like it's unfortunate that obviously it happened. She's a single mother,
Yeah.
and she was pressured. Not only did she feel pressured, but she lost her job, and
Right.
she was subjugated to going through sexual harassment at work. Which, who wants to do that? Nobody should have to
Yeah.
go through that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to go through
That's
that at work. You tell
yeah.
them no and to move on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
That's the horrible, yeah, cuz he tried for years, I mean, in the reporting. And the way the makeup goes, like you have to have your makeup done 5 days a week, right? And this guy like never takes a day off, so you're seeing this guy every day, every month,
and then
every year.
he bugging you about the fee, to the point where he offering you millions for it.
That's
Let's
crazy.
go to a caller right quick. Final Survivor, you up? And we're gonna bring some other people. What are your thoughts on this? I don't know if you can hear it, Jordan. Hold on. Hello? I think somebody playing with toilet water. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I could.
Here, yeah, we can't hear you. We just finish flushing it and can get your bars off.
I said I agree with you 1000%.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What are your thoughts on this though? Keep going. You keep going.
And Skip, man, like, oh man, it's terrible. I mean, it's not surprising. It's Fox, so it's like it's really not surprising at all. But the things that man, I mean, he's like he made sports talk what it is now. He's part of the fabric of it. His legacy is done for as of this moment. I mean, everyone's presumed innocent until guilty. I always believe that too, but it's not a good look right now for him and his legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I think it's genuine. I don't think it was a lie. Like as soon as I heard it, I said, "Oh yeah, this is real."
I think it is genuine, yeah, because there's a lot of confirmed reports about it.
I mean, it's Fox. I guess nobody's really surprised. Shitty things are happening over there.
But I'll just say this, and then yeah, you go.
And also there was also ESPN. There was also a similar situation back in 2007, but there was nothing, found or anything. But it kind of goes along with, it's a culture thing, It's like just culture. It's just you gotta find ways to remove that culture away from the organizations. But it's always gonna be like that regardless, because Fox it's like it's like literally it's a whole it's everywhere,
It is. And thank you for that final. I'm gonna bring y'all up. You can come request again. We're gonna keep going. But to your point, I wanted to, and thank you again for your input on that. Honestly, and if you want to chime in, y'all can chime in.
Yeah.
You already know what to do. Request in. But to his point, that's what I was getting ready to say. The reason why I believed it before I even knew names that were involved in this lawsuit, I've been working in news and sports media for a minute now. You go to these newsrooms, you have a bunch of pretty people that work there, whether it's the talent, the anchors, the producers, etc. So as soon as I heard this person's hooking up with, I was like, yeah, I can believe that. Just on that front alone, I was like, I can absolutely believe and see where that's coming from. But again, I'm not a huge fan of him like continually badgering the women. It's like, especially if you could just go hunt for other women. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to step outside of your marriage, just go hunt. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go.
I think the Final Survivor has a good point about Fox as a news organization, right? Because there was the whole thing with like O'Reilly and all that stuff came out. I mean, they made a movie out of it, right? So I mean, it just might be sort of a culture thing over there that needs to really they need to take a hard look at that. Yeah,
I don't think it's just Fox though. I don't think it's only Fox. I think every news in America right now.
Sure.
Is like they're having meetings today about this. Like, hey,
sure, right.
That's what I'm thinking, honestly.
Yeah, it's just the whole I mean, if you look at it from, because I mean, we're small business owners, right, Jambari? It's like HR complaints were made, so there's something wrong with like the system. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like she actually did go through the proper channels to try to combat this in a
To try to hold on.
non-lawsuit way. You know?
No. That I think she did the HR complaints to go the lawsuit way, meaning, hey, we need documentation. Let's
True. Yeah.
keep stacking up our case because he offered 1.5, but that lawyer about to get me 15. So not only do I get to keep my dignity and my reputation, and I don't have to have sex with an older white man that I don't want to have sex with, I get to also embarrass him and make a lot of money in the process. More money than what I would have did if I would have just have sex with him. So that's what I thought. I was like, good for
But
her.
why wasn't this more? I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be made public to us at all, right? But like, I feel like this wasn't really addressed when it was actually happening, like years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you follow the
She got laid off 2 months ago. Sure, in August. She got laid off in August. So that in August 2024, she got laid off. She's been in therapy for 3 months. And then she said, oh, we're going to start the new year off with a bang, Cat Williams style. Thank you for the heart. Appreciate that, Pink. So you said we starting that new year off with a bang. So I think, honestly, that's really why this happened. What were you going to say? Not because she got laid off, but because she got laid off and said, now I have enough.
Right. Do you think she was like waiting? Do you think she was like waiting on some sort of like NDA timeout or something like that? Like waiting. I mean, because I just like that's the hard part, right? Following it as kind of like a journalist is like, when was the complaint made? When did they not? Until when did they not do anything? And then like how much time has passed since? He doesn't even work there anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just.
I would be like, look, go to HR, tell them don't say anything, but this happened, but don't say anything. Get the next offense, don't say anything. Get the next. Now I'm thinking about it. Children, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, and even younger me, I haven't been in any situation with that, with like sexual harassment. I think about like I'm not even gonna go there because y'all. But what I will say is this: I've been in situations where I probably could have went to HR as a younger person when I just started off my work career, but I didn't because I didn't realize what was going on. I was, oh, it's just normal. Had I did that route, I would have went the Faraji route, took that nice lawsuit. Because I think about it like this: you get, not only is she getting checks from Fox, she gets to leave again, not having sex with who she doesn't want to have sex with. Right. And she still gets to make triple. She's gonna make a lot more money than what she would have for having sex with him. So it's like a triple win. You still get paid. Can you
imagine if you're? Can you imagine like if you're Fox News right now? It's like not only, I mean, like it's like not only is this coming out, giant lawsuit coming, you don't even have the money to pay for these lawsuits because Skip Bayless's show's ratings are going down for the last year or two. Right. So where are they even come up with the money to pay? I mean, obviously, like I'm being facetious, but still, it's like it's just a total loss across the board, man.
Iverson said that lady about to get or Miss Faraji about to get the settlement of a lifetime for sure.
Oh yeah, man, she's gonna get that mesothelioma money. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, shout out to Miss Faraji. Hey,
and shout out to mesothelioma. But it's offensive on so many levels, right? There's the sexual, sexual misconduct, right? Then there's the like the racism, right? Just kind of like accusatory racism. Like, doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives? Like, therefore you should have sex with me. Like,
what kind of logic is that?
It's so crazy. Like,
who's in this man's ear? So, that's what I was gonna say. So, okay, a lot of this stems from. So, I'm not a huge fan of Jason Whitlock. Whatever, so be it. That'll be on the record. Like, because I don't like a lot of the stuff he says.
Right.
But what I will say is some of the stuff he was saying today. So I listened to a lot of Fox Sports former employees, Whitlock, Marcellus. One, they're saying that Skip was in. So Marcellus said that Skip and Miss Faraji were really good friends. They had been working together for years.
Right.
So when he heard that he was, doing this, like they were like quote unquote good friends. Apparently, it wasn't as friendly as she made it seem. But they were good friends from his point of view. And what he had said is he didn't realize that he had tried to do that to have sex with her. But what he was saying, Whitlock said, is that the two of them in Skip's mind, Shannon and Skip were in competition, and that Shannon was very friendly but Shannon is Shannon. He's gonna be, if Shannon was very friendly, he's likable.
Yeah, he's good looking. He's physically fit. Like
right.
he's funny. He's always the funniest person in the room.
Right. And he was just like friends with all the co-workers, but the hairstylist and makeup artist for sure. And they said that he was like downstairs in the rooms, whatever, in just like shorts. And I was like, whatever, boxer shorts type stuff. I don't know. You got to listen to Jason Whitlock about that quote. But he was saying that in his mind, that's the reason why Skip was like jealous about, the fact that he was able to be so friendly with these women at work. Where Skip had to be like, I guess, more reserved and then kind of like build up, and he was jealous. So I mean, a lot of this came from jealousy, probably why he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna spend his money and try to get it." It's just wild, though. It is absolutely wild. We're gonna. So let's shift gears since we are. Unless you got any more comments about Mr. Bayless.
I mean, it's just I know it's like the popular thing to do today to kind of shit all over Skip. But it is kind of sad because like, I mean, I'm 34, right? And you're about the same age, right? So like Skip Bayless has actually been a really huge part in like the modern sports fans' life. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching this guy since Cold Pizza, Like I used to watch Cold Pizza and wait past like the sit down part and the Dana Jacobson part, right? And the Crawford part. And then I'd wait for 1st and 10, right? At the end of Cold Pizza. So it's like, it's like you've been following this guy for 20 years, even if it's, you don't agree with like most of what he says or half of what he says or whatever. It's just,
I didn't really mind his takes, to be honest with you. I some of the things he said, I didn't mind listening to him.
Yes.
Like, LeBron, he was never gonna like, but some of the things I didn't mind listening to.
Yeah, some of his takes were actually pretty insightful because he was able to see things, right, from a different standpoint. Because sometimes like sports fans in general, like I think we were talking about this where Bill Simmons has this theory when you're like too close to the action, right? So it's like, for example, like Caitlin Clark, some people, are just super fanatic about her that actually like are from there, that are from the area, that are literally supporting her, but it's like you're too close to the action to see the faults in her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that might be, like a self-criticism, right? Because like I think Dwayne Wade is better than Kobe Bryant, right? But maybe I wouldn't. I mean, maybe he's not, but like I was like too close to the action to judge it, truthfully. So I mean, and that's the same way for everybody, for all sports fans, and that's why it's kind of sad, because he was just a huge fan. I spent so many hours watching this guy. It's just pretty sad.
It is. So let me read some of these comments. Her grandkids will never have to worry about getting a job. Shout out to Iverson for that. He's pretty sure it's Islamophobia. Tyrese, no way, bro. Was actually trying to pay 1.5.
It's crazy.
Yeah, hilarious. It is crazy. Cornput, I love Marcellus, that dude. Let's read some more of these comments. Skip a demon. That should be the title. Skip a demon. This situation is sick. I mean, but it happens every day. I don't know if I don't like women getting pressured into stuff like that. So,
dude, who said that?
Acho is too corny to throw out all that money on him. Skip is jealous. Skip's brother is a famous chef, Rick Bayless. Yep, that's true. Facts. Skip was a part of my everyday life. And then Katie is laughing. I agree with you, Katie. All right, now let's talk about one of Skip's former co-hosts. This one honestly pains my heart. So when we're talking Joy Taylor, I'm gonna speak from a biased point of view, y'all. You gotta say what you gotta say. I'm speaking from a biased point of view. Joy Taylor is an alumni of one of my colleges, Barry University. She's literally 3 years older than me, 3 or 4 years older than me. So, I mean, I've talked to Joy Taylor. I've been around Joy Taylor. I'm from Miami. She's from Pittsburgh by the way of Miami though. Her brother played for the Dolphins. Obviously, like she is Miami through and through. So she went to my college.
Yeah.
Met her at Media Day with the Miami Heat. So when I heard about this, and I've listened to Joy Taylor on the radio for countless amounts of years with her and Brandon Tobin, and I'm sure Brandon Tobin is like she's thinking a lot of the same thing. So you ain't gonna hear really too much bad from me. The only issue I have, or like the only thing that I think is like glaringly wrong with this Joy Taylor situation is the fact that I'll say this, it's just she was married allegedly when she was doing these things. Now, I am not, and I'll say this disclaimer: I am not an advocate for, again, being coerced or doing things that you don't have. That you, if you feel pressured in not doing something, I'm all for it. Don't do it, and that should be her respect and her right. But if she wanted to do whatever she needed to do allegedly to get where she wanted to get to, more power to you. Like that, I am not advocating for women to do this, but if that's something that she wanted to do because she wanted to do that, so be it. But you know, it for me, like I said, it kind of just sucks hearing about this and about the people that she damaged along the way, and like hearing some of the things that she might have been you know, alleged for doing. It just sucks. It sucks to hear this about her. Like that's what I'll say about Joy as much as I can. But shout out to Joy Taylor, still from the city. So I mean, I hate hearing it. But, I do want to play this clip quickly. Like quickly, I should have let off with this, but I'm gonna play it quickly instead first.
Just keep it a buck. If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this, because women this, men this, you're moving forward with this person.
That's, you know, I mean, it kind of just lets you just a little bit more insight to what she thinks about situations like this. So
it's hard to be kind of critical. I mean, she is from Miami, right? Like, I mean, I grew up 15-20 minutes from Barry, and I know you did too, right? Like,
yeah, I went there. I was down the street from my house.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, she's the sister of Jason Taylor. I mean, growing up, like, wouldn't you say Jason Taylor for a while was like the most popular sports athlete in Miami?
One of
you
them.
know,
when Wade came, that ish died.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I mean, like Miami is still like a football town, you know what I'm saying? And he was Depoy one year, you know, so it's like I mean, it's that's what's just it's kind of hard to be tough on Joy. But I mean, you know, if you read Officer's messages, he's actually right. Like, you know, she did cheat on her husband, right?
Yeah.
You know, she was married. Well, yeah, but she also had to call off the engagement to Earl Watson, right?
Yes, I did hear about that. I heard about that.
So it's you know, it's I mean, it was an ongoing thing, right? With this Dixon guy. So I don't know, man.
I know it sucks, but I will say this because a lot of people keep bashing on Joy, but then they're leaving like Skip. Skip was essentially trying to, I'm not gonna say grape the woman, but like he was really forcing himself upon some woman. Joy had consensual sex with another man who wanted to also have consensual sex. And then
that is true. That's
in the process,
for sure.
he got a favor done because of that sex. Right? Now, again, I don't condone obviously adultery or cheating or anything like that. But that's between her and God, you know, the fact that she did that.
That's right.
Like, and between her and her husband, and between her and her other ex-fiance. But again,
there was
Taylor's
also
watching everybody while Joy Taylor's alleged shenanigans in the lawsuit. Like,
I know
he's not the one that's really under fire right now, and she shouldn't be. It should be the one that, you know, is trying to coerce somebody into having sex. What are you gonna say, Jordan?
I think this meme is pretty insightful because it's like, so I guess like, well, so multiple things, like the Joy Taylor thing. Did you see that Dixon actually paid for the wedding expenses between her and her? Yeah. So I mean, that wasn't a totally like kosher situation either, right? Like there's some payoff shenanigans going on there too. So that's not, I mean, I guess that's legal, but I mean, I mean, that's just hush money, right? But you know, I guess it's kind of sad that everyone's focusing on this, but I guess it's because everybody kind of expects people.
She's pretty. Just because she's pretty, and they want to see her fall. Like,
but I think it's because they've seen stuff like Skip before. I guess everybody kind of. It just makes total sense, right?
I've never seen 1.5 foot of pee ever in my life.
Forget that, but he's just like a person in power that's a creep, right? Like that's literally what Fox News historically, you know, has been in the power structure, right? Like that's what it's been. So I guess it's like, oh, we've seen this before. He's just another guy. Whereas this is, you know,
Jordan, we got to call her right quick. Go ahead, Hale, call her. I want to hear what you had to say about this.
Hey man, that boy Skip Bayless a dirty dog, bro.
Very, very much so. What are you thinking about that? Go for it.
Man, he put up 1.5 million. That's crazy work, bro. And he's married, bro.
Yeah.
He got a wife at home, and he's spending over $1 million on some Fox News. Man,
it's insane. Yeah, that again, I can't get over that either. Like that's crazy. So,
and I think there's more people involved than what's being put out there too.
I'm happy you said that because I believe the same thing. I think it's only a matter of time before we get a lot more names. And I'm happy you just said that. I'll bring this up. So allegedly, they said Charlie Dixon has had other women. I'll bring that up after you. You can get your bars off, Hill Card. I'll bring that up after you.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I think he's been around a lot. I think this isn't the only chick he's been involved with.
Oh no, I don't think that at all either.
I think this is gonna like spark for them other people to come out and talk about what their experiences with him. But this is crazy, man. I don't know how they're gonna go about this.
This is a Skip Diddy situation.
I don't know if it's that bad, but Skip gonna have to speak for something, bro. He can't ignore this one.
I appreciate that, Carter. Let me just say this now, and I appreciate your bars for that. I'll say this too, though, Jordan. So to his point, and shout out to Hill Carter for bringing up the commentary. To his point, he said something that I wanted to speak about. Okay. So did you read this lawsuit? If you haven't, I mean, I'm sure you read it or you know enough about it. But apparently, when Miss Faraji got offered the 1.5 mil, and then she got her buttocks stroked by Charlie Dixon, who's pictured here.
Right.
She told Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor was like essentially saying, "Get over it."
Yeah.
And
anonymous.
You don't. Yes. So she talked to somebody anonymous at the job, and I'm not. I don't know. Allegedly, the only person I could think of, and I'm not trying to figure out who this is, but the only person I could think of is Jenny Taft.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I'm like, I feel bad because one, and this is something that Jason Whitlock spoke about today. He was saying it was either Whitlock or Marcellus, but he was saying that I think it was Whitlock. It was Whitlock. After an episode of Undisputed, when she was in tears, this is while she was on live air. I don't know if y'all seen this. She was on live air. I'm sure somebody could find the clip. But she was crying on Undisputed, and after the show aired, like we saw her crying, like tearing up. But after the show ended, she went straight up to like the bosses and the executives, and then she was like upset and visibly upset. She was telling them, "Hey, she's married and this and that," and because Skip was trying to insinuate that she had done something with Shannon, and then it makes me think that Mr. Dixon didn't renew her. I don't know what happened, and I'm not gonna try and speak for people, but
you mean talking about Taft?
Yeah, like he didn't renew her contract because she wasn't trying to do X, Y, and Z with whomever. I don't know who that staffer is, the anonymous staffer or person that complained, but her departure from that show is just so weird to me, and it is always
because I thought she always did like a pretty good job too.
Right.
She would like put in just enough input more than other moderators did. I think the one thing that also can't be missed out on, you showed that meme with Homelander where they're focusing on Joy Taylor. It's so funny because the person that is kind of like skating free from any media criticism is Dixon, right?
Yes.
Because this guy is everything. He's
that's
like
the one that really needs the hammer, right?
Yeah,
right.
Like no one's talking about him at all.
Well,
because
let's talk about him.
Because
go ahead.
This is the only picture you could find on the internet of him, by the way.
No, like I have a few more. I got a few more. You go, keep going.
I mean, like maybe people dug up more last night, but when you Googled him, that's like the only image you could find, and I'm sure people dug up more stuff, but it's like they're hammering Taylor, they're hammering Skip, and they're like us little, like we're trying to figure things out and connect the dots and da. But it's like he's the one that was soliciting the favors from Taylor. He's the one that actually because him and Skip were like kind of like friends, and Skip actually had to tolerate Joy on Undisputed, right? Because Dixon put her there, and then Skip was like, Thank you.
He's preaching.
But
Go ahead.
there's a part where Skip is like, I don't really want Joy on the show. I'm not impressed with this. You know, remember, like they even went to dinner and Skip was like, I'm not even impressed with this. And Dixon's like, she's gonna be on the show, like no matter what.
Do
So
me a solid, Skip. Do me
yeah,
a solid. I
just
need
do me a
this.
solid. And then he's like, fine,
Yeah.
I'll just deal with it. So the main problem is actually him, and it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to
setting the
see if
culture,
it'll be interesting to see if he's removed, or what kind of penalties he comes under.
I mean, he needs to. So if you're, I mean, but I don't know how or what will happen, but I agree because I'm like, you can't. It's if it starts from the top down.
Yeah.
And apparently, that Joy wasn't the only one he was getting this in with. So
Joy's
now
at the bottom of the totem pole. Like Joy's at like the bottom of the totem pole.
I mean, just as far as talent, like I'm sure he's had a. I can't. I'm not thinking back, but yeah, I'm like now he really got me thinking how many of these he knocked off or whatever. This is insane, and I feel bad knowing that women feel like again coerced. If you're consensually doing this stuff because, but there again, when you're in positions of power like that, it's like they're giving you no choice. Essentially, it's not rape, but like they're giving you no choice because if you don't do what they or comply with what they want, then you're gonna get fired. And
right, and it's like you've got kind of the tale of two people, right? You got the hairstylist who refuses, right? And then you got the one that is doing all the sexual favors. One is moving up, and it's like it's a tale of two people navigating the sports media landscape or whatever, right? And it's and one is being, I mean Skip said I could change your life, right? And
money.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then at a certain point, remember Joy actually says I mean this is all alleged, but Joy says something like, no, I've got some power too now. Like he's not the only one. Like you remember that?
That's why I'm good for you. Good for you. And she's right. She could have blackballed him after she could have just. That was her escape. She had an escape plan. That's what I'm saying. Again, the only thing I didn't like, obviously, is that she did this while she was married. But if she chose to do this, I mean, like I'm not like saying, hey, good for you, like you did it, but so be it. You know what I'm saying? So be it. And
I mean, it's also never confirmed that Nushin didn't do anything with Shannon. They kind of
glossed over. She's free to do that. That's not
her.
That's
they conveniently leave that part of the story out, but that's also another thing. Like if she did, then she cheated on her husband.
She was single. Who are you talking about? She was single. She was a single mother. Yeah, she was a single mother.
Oh, then I'm
single. So she's a single mother, and this is why the report. This is why she felt like she had to just deal with this stuff for years working at Fox because and then she felt like she had ovarian cancer at one point.
That's right.
Like, but let me play this clip by Whitlock because this is your boy. This is your boy right here. Let me play this clip.
Don't do that. Don't associate me with Whitlock. That is the worst thing.
Shout out to Jordan. Let me wear my clap. Let me wear that. Good job. I like that. Good answer.
Bro,
good
you
answer.
Can't associate me with this.
One more time. One more time.
I hate this guy. All right.
Let's play this clip right quick. This is what this is one of the clips. It was a long live. I am not gonna scout for it. Let's play this clip.
I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly. It's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack. Like, Jay, keep your distance.
So he was talking about the fact that he felt like Joy was trying to come on to him. Jason, I can guarantee you she wasn't, bro. I can almost guarantee you she wasn't trying to come on.
Not on this guy. Like this ain't the one, man.
Sorry, bro. I don't think she's trying to come on to you.
Bro, peanut butter skin.
He's wild, bro.
He says the craziest stuff. And it's
wild.
I don't know. It's one of those things that like, bro, I can't not watch Whitlock. Just to hear what just to hear what the other side says, I mean, shoot, I'll turn all the mainstream media channels on to listen to everybody, but
yeah, that quote alone was just crazy. That was a crazy quote. I'm gonna read some more of these comments right quick, and we could talk. We could get to basketball talk because I'm excited. Joy was on some Game of Thrones ish. I don't blame you. Hey, I'm telling you. And again, when you're in that type of Hollywood, if you can't already tell, Hollywood is really it's like dog and dog. Like you got to do what you got to do to get to where you want to get to. And I'm not saying sexually. I'm just like y'all seen Get Him to the Greek. Like, and I'm not saying that that's a real movie, but it's a depiction of what kind of goes down in this type of place. Like these people.
Oh, for sure.
Doing
I mean,
under the sun.
Do you? I mean, this is a, because let's totally remove ourselves from the emotions of everything. Did Enjoy get everything she wanted, pretty much?
Yeah, and shout out to her for doing it. I mean, for getting what she wanted out of it. So, like, I don't blame it at all. All right, speaking of getting things what they wanted, shout out to I don't know what that comment was about either, but shout out to Nafisa Collier and Breonna Stewart for putting together Unrivaled. Oh, if you're listening, we'll be interviewing most of the actually I'll tell y'all who we're interviewing tomorrow. We're gonna be interviewing a lot of the athletes tomorrow from Unrivaled. Let me just I'm gonna find the roster of people that we're gonna be speaking with. So tomorrow we will be speaking with De'Erica Hamby, Jordan Canada, Aaliyah Boston, Courtney Williams, Cameron Brink, Alicia Gray, Marina Mayberry, Katie Lou, shout out to Katie Lou, Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Edwards, Courtney Vandersloot, Rakia Jackson, Angel Reese, Kalia Copper, Lexi Hall, Jackie Young, Kate Martin, and Stephanie Dolson. We are going to be speaking with them tomorrow, starting at 11:45, ending at 2:30 p.m. We'll be speaking with them. I don't know if I'm gonna go live during those times. If y'all have any questions for any of the athletes that I just
leave them in the chat.
Yeah, leave them in the chat, put them on YouTube, etc. Reach out to me, send me a message. I'll read out some more of the notable names again. De'Erica Hamby. So again, if you're just joining in, 11:45 to 2 p.m. or to around 3 p.m., we'll be speaking with De'Erica Hamby, Aaliyah Boston, Courtney Williams, Cam Brink, Brittany Griner, Rakia Jackson, Angel Reese, Lexi Hall, Jackie Young, and a bunch of other athletes as well. That's like half of the people that we're going to be speaking with. So yeah, leave some comments, questions, etc. Leave them in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. But I do want to get to some Unrivaled talk because obviously it's a great league and it's getting ready to start. But this is like a bombshell that we definitely had to talk about for a little bit. And again, it was just unfortunate that this whole situation occurred. But let's get to this Unrivaled. So question: we're going to talk about all 6 of the teams, starting off with the Laces, and I'm going to pull up this quote right here. So this is an article I read today about every team's biggest strength and weakness ahead of Unrivaled. The Laces have Jackie Young, Tiffany Hayes, Kayla McBride, Alyssa Thomas, Kate Martin, Steph Dolson. And they're saying that their biggest weakness is a lack of, I guess, creating point guards, rather. And also serving is just offensive. Jordan, I was just going to say, looking at that roster, what are your thoughts about this team? And how do you feel like they're going to do in Unrivaled?
When I look at these players, they've got some shooting. They have some on-ball defense, some interior defense. I mean, this team is – I think this team is going to be very slow, but I guess that's okay in a 3-on-3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I feel like this is one of the – this team's not as good as, some of the other teams. But I think their best player is Alyssa Thomas. They've got a good point of attack defender in Courtney Williams, which is going to be super important. Their crunch time 3 is probably going to be Williams, McBride, and Thomas, don't you think?
Yeah.
And
it should be young. It should be Young. Young should be on one of their crunch time 3s for sure.
Oh, well, I mean, Young is – so I guess originally, Kelsey Plum was supposed to be on this team, right? And then, Young replaced her, right?
Yeah.
So, you would put Jackie Young instead of Kayla McBride or Courtney Williams
For my 3, it would be Thomas. I'm not gonna go big. I'm gonna go Thomas Young, and then if you want to put McBride, I'd probably go Thomas McBride and then Young.
So
for my last 3, and then
so you would leave Courtney Williams on the bench for crunch time.
Courtney Williams is playing for the Lunar Owls. So Courtney Williams playing for the Lunar Owls.
Oh, I'm looking at this pre-trade, I guess.
You're good. No, I got a picture of the roster up here. So Steph Dolson, Jackie Young, Tiffany Hayes, Kayla McBride, Alyssa Thomas, Kate Martin. So that would be my lineup. It would be to end the game, I'd go Young, Thomas, and then I'd go McBride. Because Alyssa can guard bigs. And then you have 2 versatile shooters. Yeah, that would probably be my lineup to end the lineup.
Don't you think that's kind of like the weakest three you could have though? Like as opposed to like other teams.
And that's why I brought it up. That's why I brought up, how do you feel like they're gonna fare? Because when I look at this roster, I'm not like taking there's some better rosters.
It's not bad. Like, it's not a bad
Yeah.
roster. It's just not. I just don't think they're gonna win like the championship, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that Alyssa Thomas is one of the top 4 players in the WNBA.
For
So I think she's. I mean, I could see this team going far just based off her like tenacity, defense, rebounding, all that interior stuff she does. So
All right, so let's go to the team that Courtney Williams does play for, the Lunar Owls. So the Lunar Owls, let's bring them up right quick. So the Lunar Owls on their team,
that roster up.
They have a great roster actually. So they have Nafisa Collier, Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Alicia Gray, Shakira Austin, and Cameron Brink. This is their team right here, pictured. I guess. I mean, how well do you feel like they're going to fare?
That's a very good team, bro. That's a great team. I think I told you that Nafisa's probably gonna be most valuable player for me next year, right? Like, she had such a great playoff run and a great last year. I think this is one of the best teams in the league. Yeah. I mean,
what Skylar Diggins-Smith did at practice the other day. Did you just see this? She made old boy fall off of in and out crossover dribble. But Cole, you keep going what you're saying, Jordan.
This is probably the most balanced, like,
For sure. Absolutely,
veteran team, right? Like this team's gonna be really good.
I think they're stacked, and then not only do they have 3 solid guards, but their bigs are legit. Like, so if you haven't already known Shakira Austin, she's back from her hip injury. Obviously, she just played last season. I think she's gonna have a dominant what am I trying to say? A dominant unrivaled season. Like, she's back and she looks great. Her draft class, same draft class with Lexi Holt. The 2022 WNBA draft was stacked. She went 3. Yeah. That was another stacked class, but in out, like, she's big enough. And then another thing I like to see is the fact that Cam Brink is back. Now, I don't want to see Cam play and get hurt. Like, I don't want to see her. I want her to be a cheerleader if she needs to. I don't want to see her get hurt. So if she plays, give her like a few minutes. Just make sure she could run physically and she could. Again, if you've ever had an ACL surgery like I have, or like some athletes, it takes time. This is 7 months that she's coming back. So you see her, she's wearing the leg sleeve on her left leg. 7 months from ACL surgery removed. Like, even Derrick Rose isn't coming back that soon. So I hope again that they just take her time with Cam and kind of just get her back in the process, just acclimated. You don't have to. Again, I think they're gonna do. They're stacked.
I mean, they're probably not gonna need Cam, honestly. Exactly. Like, because
you got who's your finishing 3 on this roster?
It's gonna be Nafisa, Williams, and probably Skylar, right? That's what I would do. I mean, would you put Alicia over Skylar?
I would probably, if it were me, I'm probably going Skylar, Shakira, and then Fee. But the thing is, you can put Fee. Fee can play in the post as like, and she can guard Dewey. That's why I'm like, if you can do that, then you really could just go away with Courtney, Skylar, and Fee, and then keep it moving. But
also, I feel like you'd want Courtney with Fee at the end, given that they already have synergy as like teammates, Sure. So they could like switch everything. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how the 3-on-3 is coached, because if you have Fee and Courtney Williams on your team, I mean, you could do a lot of switching and creative stuff. So
I think again that Lunar Owls, looking back at this, might be one of the better teams in the league. Honestly.
Yeah,
there's a few other, but she got a squad. All right, let's talk about the Mist, MIST, the Mist. So this team, it features. Let me just play this right quick for y'all. Get the sound off. All right,
this is a good team too.
It is. So it has Brianna Stewart, Dejanay Carrington, Courtney Vandersloot, Jewel Lloyd, Aaliyah Edwards, and Rakia Jackson. They're saying that 3-point shooting is their biggest weakness, but honestly, I don't even know how much threes you're really going to need on a 3-on-3 league, to be honest with you. But they're stacked. I feel like they're balanced in and out. They got everything that you could think of. What are your thoughts about this? And I guess who is your closing lineup on this team too?
Dude, you got Stewie, man. I mean, I feel like Stewie's the most. I think Stewie's gonna do super well. This is another really good team. You got Dijonay, at the point of attack. Um, I mean, the whole point of 3-point shooting, I mean, is it a spacing issue or a 3-point shooting issue? Because when there's only 3 people on the court, there's a lot of space. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the space is built in because there's only 6 bodies on the court. I think that this team is, I mean, probably Stewie, Jewel, Lloyd, and Dijonay, right? That's probably your final three.
Stewie, Lloyd, Dijonay. I'd probably go Rakia over Dijonay, but yeah, it probably would be one of the two of them. And we're gonna speak about. I want to speak about free agency in a little bit. We're gonna go over the other 3 teams, but we're gonna speak about how this is gonna affect free agency. So, hey, Jordan, KG agrees with both of us. You went Dijonay, I went Rakia. Who was your? Oh, you said Jewel, and then we both agree on Stewie. So we both agree on Stewie. I probably would go. I don't know if I would go Jewel. I probably would, but that's funny that all 3 of us agree on one different player. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was really cool. It was. I thought that was cool. All right, let's look at the Phantom roster.
Also, like, the last thing is that team's got Phil Handy, which is, I mean, I mean, we didn't talk too much about the coaches, but like, it was like Sackman on the Laces and whatnot. But actually, it's Sackman on the Owls. But I think that they've got a strong coach too.
All right, what are your thoughts about the Phantom roster? Includes Satou, Sabally, Marina Maybury, Brittany Griner, Sabrina Ionescu, Katie Lou Samuelson, Natasha Cloud. They're saying that their biggest weakness is the fact that their defense. It'll be their defense. Well, let me read
their defense.
It says, I'm about to read this. The Phantom. Okay, hold on. It says the Phantom are not set up quite as well as defense will be. Yeah, their biggest team weakness. They have to rely on a lot on Natasha Cloud and Marina Maybury to defend on the perimeter, and Satou to play good defense against bigs. With Brittany Griner, the Phantom have valuable presence in the paint, but also one of the less athletic bigs at this point in her career. Griner might struggle with the speed and spacing on that 3-on-3 comes with.
I don't know about that.
So
I feel like
you think that this team's better than Lunar Owls?
Hey, I don't know about that either, but I just to push back on that point, it's like when it's 3-on-3, you think the game's more interior focused or perimeter focused?
Both. I think it'll probably be a more interior focus, truthfully.
Because you got Brittany Griner, the tallest player on the court. It's probably gonna be interior focus, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, did you ever see that 1-on-1 Kareem versus Dr. J?
No,
like,
why?
Dude, Kareem destroyed him, And it's like, bro, Dr. J had no shot. So they were really old, and it was part of All-Star Weekend, I think. But I mean, you've got, BG. Like, when I look at this roster, it's so funny because if Sabrina was healthy, she didn't have that UCL issue, I think this team would actually be pretty good. You'd have probably Satou, Sabrina, and BG, but
I was thinking too. But then I'm like, outside of that, I don't really know how I agree with what you just said. This team's kind
of slow, I think.
I was thinking that this team was gonna be really. I don't know how good they are, but I was thinking that this team was gonna be really good just because Brittany Griner, and anytime you got Griner, you're gonna be good. But then I started thinking about the rest of the rosters, and I'm like, I don't know. I think they're gonna be on probably on the bottom 3 part of that. So I'm like, I don't know about that.
I mean, it's a very slow team, but it's like how far do you have to go in a 3-on-3? You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna it's a full court. It's 3-on-3 full court. It's 3-on-3 full court.
But isn't it a shorter court?
It's slightly shorter, yes. It is slightly shorter. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one, but this is another good lineup which we're gonna speak about. It is the Rose Basketball Club. Let me pull up these highlights for y'all so y'all can see this right quick. So Rose Basketball Club, and it is boom. So you got Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper, Azare Stevens. Who else is on this roster? Angel Reese, and I'm gonna just pause right there. When it comes to Angel Reese, she is looking amazing. Look at this, bro. Like, look at the spin move off the dribble. Like, she gets this in her bag next year. It's a wrap. That's a wrap for this. It's a wrap. I'm telling you. Y'all keep sleeping on her game. Y'all keep sleeping. And peep this too. Y'all keep sleeping on that young woman's game. She's just drilling threes. That looks great, Jordan. It don't look good. That looks great.
That looks better than it did last week or whatever.
Yeah, that's what happens when you work. She just catching that thing and just wham, wham, wham. Like, okay, I don't know how good they're gonna be, but I know Angel's gonna have a great game. But all right, so the roster includes Chelsea Gray, Lexi Hall, Angel Reese, Brittany Sykes, Kalia Copper, and Azure Stevens. It says obviously this team's biggest strength is their transition. Angel's one of the best rebounders in the game, and it continues to speak about Chelsea Gray being a talented passer. They have a strong squad too. It said their team biggest weakness will be likely scoring from efficiency from both of their bigs. Both Reese and Azure Stevens shot 40% or less than the field in the WNBA season, with defenders like Stewie, Fee, and Alyssa Thomas roaming the paint, as well as Brittany Griner. It will be tough to, well, then again, she gave Brittany Griner work. It'll be tough enough to score without players missing shots frequently, especially in a 3-on-3 league. What are your thoughts about that?
I kind of agree with that. This team's kind of small, isn't it? Like relative to the other teams.
Angels are big. Angel and Azure are their bigs.
Yeah, I think this team is this is probably one of the younger teams in general, right? Like I'd say in general, like they have youth. I think they're gonna have to run. Like I think it's good that they have Chelsea Gray on their team because I think that's the only way that this team's gonna win. I think they're gonna have to run a lot.
So if I could say this, that's one of the few teams that has 2 finals, and this is what I was gonna speak out. They have 2 finals MVP on their roster. That Rose Club team does. That's 1. 2.
That was a long time ago, Jambari.
Talia Copper won in 2021. And then
Gray 4 years ago.
Gray won in 22. And you just saw what she did in the Olympics. Like, no. She's still legit. Like, and she had a great season last year. But what I will say is this. The one reason why I do like Angel being on that team is because the reason why I brought the 2 up, Chelsea and Kalia, she's gonna be learning from them all this season. Like, this is the time where she's gonna be gleaning and just learning from these vets that are just gonna take her under her wing, show her what they do in workouts, and she's just gonna just take that information and I think she's gonna have a really good sophomore season, especially now that she just is coming back from Unrivaled. That's one of the questions I'm gonna ask her about. You know, obviously you got 2 finals MVPs on your roster. What are you gonna try and take away from the 2 of them this summer while you're playing in Miami? That's one of the questions I will be asking Angel tomorrow.
I know that we talked about like all last year that one of the big issues with the Sky was that they kind of lacked 3-point shooting, but they also lacked veteran leadership, right? And this is an opportunity for Angel Reese to kind of glean some of that a little bit. You know, these are the most accomplished, probably oldest quality players that Angel Reese has ever played with, right?
Right.
Like you didn't have that when you were in college, and you didn't really have that in your first year in the league. Now, I mean, you know, you get to spend a whole, couple months with Chelsea Gray, with Copper. Like, I mean, I think this is gonna be a good experience for her. I think she's gonna get a lot from this.
I do too, and that's why I was like, oh, I love the fact that she's on this team with this roster exclusively. So, like, again, and these are people that respect, like, the fact that Copper used to play in the same organization as her, and like the 2 of them already have like some type of a bond. Like, they've been, I love to see what's getting ready to happen, and I think she's gonna learn a lot, even if they don't win. Like, right now, just looking at this Lunar Owls roster, I don't think anybody missed, and Owls is looking like who the teams are gonna be. But I think they're gonna, I think Rose will do something. But I'm not sure. So
shout out to Lexi Hall.
Miles will go crazy on the Sky. Miles will go ballistic on the Sky. And Lexi Hall, I feel like is going to do well this. And it's not just, and let me just say this too. It's not just, I think for the younger players in the WNBA, the Lexis, the Ryan Howards, the Cam Brinks, Shakira Austin, Rakia, Angel. I feel like Kate Martin. I feel like this experience is just going to be so beneficial to them all because they're going to learn from veterans who have already, you know what I'm saying, who have already accomplished in this league. And they could just take all of these things back and kind of just get better from this experience. I think it's going to be really good for all of them. And it keeps them in basketball shape. Like, they're going to be ready. Aaliyah Boston. Like, they're going to have a great.
Speaking of Aaliyah Boston, we have one team left to talk about.
And that's exactly why I brought her up. Speaking of which, so the last club, the Vinyl Basketball Club. This is, shout out to Enrique. This is one of her only media appearances. One of her only media appearances. I'm happy she did this for Media Day, though. But yes, this club features a lot of my favorite players: Enrique, Ryan Howard, De'Erica Hamby, Aaliyah Boston, Jordan Canada, and Ray Burrell. So they're balanced. This is I feel like this is a really strong team as well.
Yeah.
Right now, it's saying one of their biggest weaknesses is that the team's success will largely depend on how many shots are falling in a given day. This is not an efficient roster. Ogubawale, Howard, and Canada and Burrell average less than 40% shooting from their field for their WNBA careers, and it could come back to hurt the vinyl. I feel like in a 3-on-3 setting, they're about to get cooked, especially with her. If all she got to do is just get to the rim or make some type of a tough shot, I feel like they're gonna get cooked.
Yeah.
I feel like De'Erica is gonna have a great. She's gonna have a great time. Ryan gonna cook, and I definitely know Aaliyah Boston's good for cooking. So
I think this is one of those teams that, like, any given night they could
hit or
beat
miss,
anyone.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
could beat anyone on any given night, you know. But yeah, there's crazy, and this team's also coached by Teresa Weatherspoon too.
Yes.
So you know that's pretty solid.
Ish.
I wanted to ask you, are there any wild card spots left on any of the teams?
No, so the last two wild cards were Katie Lou and Sabrina. So Phantom and Phantom. It was both Phantom, funny enough. Actually, Katie, I forget what Katie was playing for. But yeah, Katie Lou and Sabrina were the last two spots.
So Katie Lou went to who? The Phantom?
Yeah, let me.
Can you imagine, just for a second, if you didn't have Sabrina and you replaced that team with Caitlin Clark?
Well, okay, so let's do that right quick. So you would have Sabally. No, that's funny. You put Sabally with the same, and that we could. I'm happy you just reminded me of that. All right, so you have Sabally, Mabry, Griner, Sabrina, Cloud, and then Clark.
Well, I
feel
mean,
like
I'd probably
that team is gonna win?
I'd probably take out Sabrina and put Clark just because.
No, you'd have to. You said swap out Lou for Clark.
No, I'd probably swap out Sabrina for Clark because that's pretty OP, bro. That's
Really. So if they had Clark, Sabrina, Satou, and Brittany, you would say they're gonna win?
I'm saying that I don't know if you could have both Sabrina and Caitlin Clark on the same team.
Why?
I guess you could, but if you had Caitlin Clark on this team, and then you had Satou and probably BG, you've got the defense, you've got the Swiss Army knife, and you have the perimeter. I think that's probably the best. That's probably the best, like three, right? Like crunch time three.
So who would it'd be Griner, Clark, or Griner, Clark, Sabally?
Yeah.
I don't know if Sabrina gonna like that one. I don't know if Sabrina gonna like that
Sabrina's
one.
9 fingers right now.
I don't know if she's gonna like that one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be nice though. That would be a good little lineup. But yeah, she's not here. We definitely gonna speak about Caitlin in a few because she talked. Enrique and Ryan would fry Caitlin and Sabrina all night. And Tyrese said that they'll probably lose to Enrique's team. Officer agrees with you though. Officer definitely agrees with you. I don't know. I feel like that Lunar Alice team. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like that Lunar Alice team got everything that you need. Like you call me crazy, Skylar, Courtney, and then you could just add in Shakira to finish it off. So say what you need to. But that's what I wanted to actually speak about. What kind of I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people are speculating, especially just myself. I feel like a lot of free agency moves. So the free agency starts January 21st. I feel like a lot of free agency moves will be influenced by this league. So like, for example,
yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. So for example, Sabrina is reunited with Satou, and the two of them, they're friends. They're like really good friends. Not only were they college teammates together, right. Satou was in not in, but she was at Sabrina's wedding. Right. What else? I mean, her sister plays in New York. One of her sister's best friends / friends and her friend in Leone plays in New York. Right. They have a max contract to offer her in New York. They just won a ring in New York. You know what I'm saying? So like she has a lot of reasons to. I feel like if there's to be in New York. I feel like if there is a team,
is that even possible?
Yeah, Vandersloot is coming off of a max contract, and so is Stewie. So all you got to do is just put Vandersloot to bring her back on a minimum deal, and give Satou the Vandersloot max contract, and then they're gonna re-sign Stewie with her max contract. Boom, and then there you go. That's it right there. They already got rid of Kayla Thornton. So her numbers come off the book. Yeah, I know. Is that possible? It's crazy. Because the lineup they would have would be, you talk about OP, that's a dynasty.
Yeah.
You could just bag that. You'd have a lineup of Sabrina. I'd put Phoebich at the 2, Satou at the 3, Jonquil at the 5, Stewie at the 4, and we just play next year. Y'all can just play, and then until somebody gets hurt, and just wrap it up. That'd be a wrap.
There's a world where that could literally be like the Eastern Conference All-Stars. Like
they got five of them.
That could literally be the
that could be the first team All NBA.
Yeah.
Second team, first team. You get 3 of them on second, 3 of them on, or 2 of them on first.
Dude, that would be, I think, probably not good for the league.
That'd be God mode, bro. That'd be amazing. Are you kidding me? That'd be amazing for the league. The league strive off the dynasties, Lakers, Celtics, Yankees, people, the Stanford, like people want to see. I don't even know why I brought up Stanford.
I mean, I'm not talking about ratings. I think like I think ratings would go up, but I just be like, come on, man, like why?
The Warriors,
do this?
Like, people, the leagues thrive off when you have even the Aces. The leagues thrive when you have dynasties, Comets, right? So that, I mean, honestly, if I'm Satou, Kurt Miller doesn't want her to let her go. And I don't blame him, but
I don't blame him.
Yeah, but I'm like, if she goes to New York, you could just y'all can close up shop next year. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And then you have one guard that's 6 foot. Everybody else is 6'4" and taller.
That is so unfair. That's crazy.
Everybody's 6'4" and taller and athletic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I kind of want it. I don't want her to leave Dallas, but I kind of want to see it happen.
You kind of want to see it happen? It's just. Dude, I don't know, man.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, please don't happen. But in the front of my mind, I'm like, I hope this happens.
Bro, that team might go 40-0. Like they might
every single season. What did you say the single season? They almost broke the record for wins.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 34-6, right? I think it was 34-6. The Aces went 34-6 2 years ago.
So somebody put the line. If it's not competitive, then no one will watch. I don't know about that. I don't know about that
either.
I don't know about that. People are watching UConn when they're going 100 games in a row. Like,
oh yeah, for
sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. Again, we love dynasties. We love seeing dominance. We love seeing perfection.
It'd be interesting to see like another dynasty kind of be developed to combat that dynasty because that happens all the time. You know,
it would have to, and that's what I will. Now you're making me want this even more. I hope it happens and somebody tries to knock off this dynasty. That's exactly. But not only that. But like, there's a lot of different pairings. So like Jewel Lloyd, she was on TikToks dancing with Aaliyah Edwards, and I was like, okay, what if Jewel Lloyd were to wind up in Washington? Yes. Yeah. I'm like, now that'd be 3 heavy guards. They kind of have to figure out what they're doing. Like Atkins, Sykes, and then Lloyd. But you bring back Engsler. You have Malonga, who should be picked 4th at least. And then you're gonna have Shakira. Then you have Aaliyah. Like, they're gonna have a good team if they're able to pick her up too. I think about the fact that Dejanay Carrington and Rakia Jackson are like buddy, and like they're forming a new duo. I'm like, what if, because she's a restricted free agent, I'm like, what if Los Angeles offers her more money than Connecticut will? And they managed to get Dejanay with Olivia Miles, Dejanay, Rakia, De'Erica, and then Cam. And then they just slowly keep filling out that roster. You got Ray Burrell and Azure. Like, I feel like there is a lot of free agency moves that will be happening. A lot of people are saying Lexi Hull might go to the Chicago Sky
to play with Angel.
To play, I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but like the two of them look friendly as well. I'm not even saying that's gonna happen, and I don't know. But what I will say is, like, a lot of people are upset because they're like, oh, don't say that this person's leaving or that person's leaving. I'm like, you guys don't control where the athlete gets to play. That's the athlete's decision. That is solely their decision. It's not.
I mean, that's part of the intrigue. Like, you know, you got to go back like a year ago or whatever when this league was being formed. That's part of the appeal of even joining the league as a player, is that you get to play with people that you've never got to play before, people that you might be interested in playing with. Like, that's the whole reason you would join, right? You know, to play with other people. So, and obviously get paid. But I think that's literally like a huge part of this, is to see people play with other people that we recognize that they might end up with, you know?
Yeah, dude. I want to. I want to know what y'all are talking about on TikTok. I think they're going back and forth about Kaylin. It says, let me read some of these comments. CC Mitchell. Okay, let me read this. Kaylin Clark, Mitchell, Carrington, Collier, and Wilson. I don't. Fee's not a Poach. Fee is not a free agent this summer, and Asia's a free agent next summer. So they'd have to, if they can get Carrington, that'd be cool. That'd be cool though. Unless Asia and CC have stars of the same caliber, they're going back and forth about this. I think a super team would be great for the WNBA. Well, get Satou Sabally in New York and let it start. Let's start getting it. He from New York. I feel you, officer. But yeah. Get Satou in New York and let's get this going. That's what I would like to see for sure.
That's gonna be, bro. They're gonna win 40 games. They're just gonna
40 out of 44 for sure. I would mark that under 40. We are discussing super teams. We'll write it right in the. Okay. As they're discussing super teams, I appreciate that, Pocha. But
dude,
yes,
poor fucking Golden State Valkyries. Can you imagine when Golden State goes against that super team in the New York Liberty? Bro, it's gonna be like the Monstars against the Looney
150. Again, they better not let if she ends up in New York City, y'all can just pack up shop, and just wait until next year. This is what I was saying about Clark trying to win a ring or an MVP. It's gonna be, unless you're winning, it's gonna be damn near impossible to kind of pull those feats off. Like you really gotta do a lot, bro. Like
you need to be blessed to be in like a special situation.
And this is what I'm saying about her staying in Indiana. I'm like, unless they surround her with that type of team,
yeah.
I'm like, what's her incentive for staying there? She's not tied to Indiana. She's not married to any. Nobody is married to any city. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. Yeah, not anymore. Especially when you make it to the pros. Like, no way. You know.
They're all paying you. Like she could go anywhere. Any athlete can go anywhere. So it's like, and then
any college athlete can go anywhere. Did
Correct.
you see that Quinn Ewers got offered $6 million from University of Texas? Quinn Ewers, the guy that plays in front of Arch Manning.
Yeah.
What the heck? $6 million?
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, y'all better not get. I'm not like get too attached to these athletes playing on a team, but just don't get married to that idea where they have to stay for one team on one roster for the rest of their lives and stick it out because what? You know what I'm saying? Because what? What's the reason for that?
That's just how it is, especially nowadays. Like,
yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, that's such a relic of the past, staying in one place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like how many people stay at one job their whole life? That ain't a thing anymore. Like, if someone's offering you more money to do the same work, which is literally what it is.
To do less of the same work. They're offering you money and better coworkers and a better location. And
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go. Like,
right. Hey, here's $200,000 to live in Indiana or Los Angeles, where we might have more, you know, or wherever. Like,
yeah, right.
Like you're gonna take the LA, Miami. Like, come on, people gotta put this stuff in perspective. So, I understand, but you know, don't get y'all hearts broken when your favorite athlete leaves the city and then start burning their jersey on some stupid.
Yeah. Like, ask us how we feel, Tyreek and Jimmy at the same time.
Hey, bye, Jimmy. Bye. Bye. I'm with Pat on that. Bye.
Hey, Jimmy is nice. Thank you for 2 crazy miracle runs. I appreciate it. But like Tyreek, don't go anywhere, Tyreek. I really like Tyreek. Yeah, please.
I mean, but we ain't doing nothing but holding him back, so I don't blame him.
I know. But
Tyreek is more understandable. Jimmy is like $60 million for what?
For this guy?
for $60 million, we didn't pay Braun. Like, what do you stop? Just stop.
You don't pay $50 million for 3 for 5 from the field? Like, okay.
Pay $50 million for a non-NBA championship? Like,
I know.
We're not gonna give an aging superstar 35 plus
for no rings.
$60 million, right? He
didn't win a ring,
right? Like, and again, I told you if they had Hero, they would have won a championship. They playing well, and Hero's been playing like a monster. So I'm gonna go to my grave with that. I'm going to my grave with that one. Tyreek back to the Chiefs. We'll see. Clark with one other superstar is lights out. What do you think about that comment before we move to our next? Actually, let's talk about our next comment. Let's bring up Caitlin Clark. So she is one of our next topics. I want you to answer that, but let me read this right quick. So she had this to say on the New Heights podcast. Maybe people want, and this was in regards to the NBA ratings drop. Maybe people want more beef, and this is just in basketball in general. Maybe people want more beef and physicality. People think it's gone soft, but I also think the skill has just changed. That's what's great about basketball. It's always evolving. It's going to be different from when Michael Jordan played. It's going to be different in 10 years than it is now. It is competing with a lot of football right now. You have to take that into consideration. Football is just America's favorite thing. What are your thoughts about that? And what are your thoughts about Coach's comment when she said Clark plus one of the superstars lights up?
I think that football has kind of always been
The king.
America's favorite sport. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's a new pastime for sure.
I mean, like, I've been reading so many stories and I've heard pretty much every take about why basketball is not doing as well as football, because football, I mean, ultimately, I think it comes down to, like, in general,
Roster
football
size.
players always want to play, basketball players don't always want to play, and
Best games.
football is appointment television, whereas basketball is not. Like, I make an appointment every Sunday at 1 o'clock to watch a football game. Whereas basketball is like, oh, is it on? I don't even know. Let's check. Let's check. Do they play tonight? Like, and it's like, do I watch it on Sun Sports or do I watch it on TNT? Like, I mean, do I want to hear the Homer crowd or do I want to hear the national? So it's just, I mean, there's always been like a little access issue. Obviously, it's greater now, but I think it's like, I think the big issue is that people just want to play in football, like and I think that lack of effort in all of its forms hurts the NBA, so, like, I mean, I was like trying to think of like a mental list of all the things that have hurt the league, of people not
Everything you
caring.
just said, yeah.
I mean, like, so, like, people always like, oh, Greg Popovich, and like this whole thing with load management. Go look at how many games Tim Duncan played in his career. He played like more than everybody, I mean, he played like 70, 75 games for like 20 years, like, I mean, his load was managed, like he
Pause.
played.
Pause.
He actually played every game that he was allowed to play,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think that people or like maybe people don't know that he played so many games, but he played a shit ton of games. And I mean, you got the people that don't care, that can't stay in shape, that, like, have weird psychological Ben Simmons issues. People have the load management issues. They want to play back-to-backs. I mean, the three-point shot is essentially a way to put less effort to get more points. People don't like that. People not trying hard. People don't like tanking. The NBA is a huge thing with tanking, like, there's all these little things where people just aren't trying their best.
I feel
And
like
it adds up. It adds up.
I feel like a lot of it is something that you brought on, or talked about. A few things. The appointments, that I never even thought of that. That was a great poignant point, because Sunday 1 o'clock on 1 to 3 stations: CBS, TNT, NBC, and then Monday same thing.
That's it.
ESPN. Yeah, it's just really simple.
You know where to go.
They make it really simple to understand, and it goes back to the thing too, though. Scheduling. There's only 17 games in the NFL, so you feel like you have to watch every single one, because if you miss it, then it does. It dramatically.
You gotta wait a whole week.
It alters your schedule. It alters your favorite team's schedule. So that's another thing. So, but lastly, I feel like, because I don't feel like it's star power. I don't feel like the NFL is really built on star power. It's built on, and that's another thing. So the NFL is built on team power, where the NBA is built on star power. And I feel like there are just not enough stars in the league. And that's something that we spoke about. Zion hurt. Derrick Rose got hurt. These are like the torchbearers.
Yeah, this is what we talked about.
Ben Simmons gone, right? LeBron older. Steph older. Anthony Edwards not as good as LeBron, but he's still cool. Luka, he's there, but he's not always available, right? Like, it's like there's always something with
exactly
Kyrie issues, like Kevin Durant.
Exactly.
Like, there's always something
something
besides LeBron. And once we had a LeBron, like, he came in the league, he stayed, he did his things for 20 years, and he's been very consistent. People watch Bron, but now it's like you didn't had 20 years of eating Bron chicken, pause, right? Or just eating the same meal, watching the same thing, and you're like, okay, what more can he do at this point? I'm still watching his games religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say this, I watch Wemby, but I don't get the same feeling. I don't allow. He just had an amazing game against Joker. And me hating the San Antonio, correct too. Me hating the San Antonio Spurs, it pains me to say this, because I'm a Heat fan, so I hate watching the Spurs. But with him, like, Wemby's 7'3" and he's shooting 48% from the floor.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, why? Yes. And then it goes back to how much of a star is he? How much of a star is he really? And then I go back to saying, like, who is the next person that is really gonna just take over the league and is like,
the great irony of that is that
Yeah.
Jokic, who plays on the inside, is actually shooting 47% from three.
He dominated him. He dominated.
Two things that I think in the new age of discussing these sports can't be overlooked so easily is that it's kind of weird gambling on basketball, but gambling on football is so like it's so in the American consciousness, like the Giants by 3, or the fantasy football. Like that's such a huge factor in how people consume football. Most people don't. I feel like a lot of people don't watch the games either, but if they're watching it, they're watching it on Red Zone, or they're watching it on whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, like the multi-screen to check their fantasy stats or whatever. So the consumption of the sport is very different. That's one. And then two, this is a Chuck Klosterman thing. He comes on Bill Simmons' podcast sometimes, where it's like the thing about football, it's a very dehumanizing sport. I mean, you could just look at it as like 22 robots in armor fighting each other. You don't need a face of the sport because you never see their face.
Correct.
But you actually need a face of the sport in basketball because you can see your whole face. Caitlin Clark is the face of the sport because you see her face. Like
she might be the face of basketball at this point, and that's another reason why the NBA ratings are down too, because the WNBA ratings are up. But
do you even know? Like, could you pick out Amon-Ra St. Brown out of a lineup?
I personally can, but before the Netflix starting 5 show or the receiver show, probably not.
Probably not. Like can you pick out if I put Joe Burrow, Jared Goff,
I can tell
Kirk Cousins. Well,
yeah, I can tell the difference between, but most people, casual people,
but a lot of people probably can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what Brock Bowers looks like? Because I don't.
Is he? I was about to say, is he still in the league?
I know his stat line. I know he's setting records, but I don't know what he really looks like. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
So it's a very dehumanizing league, and you don't need a face of the sport that when you can't see their face. Whereas we're looking at Caitlin's face right now. That's the face of the basketball right now.
So Tyrese disagrees, and I want to read some of his points because they're also poignant too. Katie said Wemby is coming. Don't worry. I mean, Wemby's already here. I don't know how much. Let's be serious. If CC played for the NBA ratings would go up. I agree, and that's my point about her being the face of basketball now. Tyrese said that's because of the fan base. Cooper Flag is not good enough. They're arguing about Cooper Flag being good enough. Patrick Mahomes, Mickey Reese says he is the face of the NFL. Truthfully, funny enough, but it is more team oriented than it is individualized. But that's a great point. He is the next Tom Brady. And then Tyrese kind of pushed back. He said because LeBron and Curry exist, Caitlin Clark is not the face of basketball. I think Brown is passing the torch to Caitlin. To be honest with you,
I think so.
I think he's passing it to Caitlin.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is Caitlin. Like,
yeah, that's true. I think if you ask most people under 20 who the face of basketball is, they're gonna. And you can include women. I think most of them. We should ask that. That's a good question. Now you're gonna make me want to make this YouTube video.
I mean, the other thing also is that, like, I mean, maybe this is our East Coast bias, but the whole country actually watches more. Like, if Caitlin played like 82 games versus LeBron and Curry playing 82 games, most of America would watch Caitlin's games because it's on the East Coast. Whereas people go to sleep by the time LeBron and Curry play. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole East Coast bias thing going on too.
That's a good point. Tyrese brought this up too, though. My friends and family would never turn on a WNBA game. And like I was having this argument with an Uber driver who told me Jordan is better than LeBron. And I said, yet. They're not watching the WNBA yet. That's going to change soon. And I agree. My father's not watching the WNBA right now either. Katie put the fact that she's even in this conversation is crazy. And it goes back to why I say yet. Because, again, she's only going to get better. She's only going to score 40 points. She's only going to average 30 points in a season. She's only going to start to do things that haven't been done before. And people are really going to say, let me go watch this girl play right quick. Let me just check.
I mean, honestly, like, even if she never gets better and she never becomes MVP or wins a championship, like, she was and is currently the face of basketball. Like, you know, like you know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't need some sort of like accomplishment.
And
You know, like it's already happened. You know.
let me add this too to also highlight Angel Reese. The fact that you have an established rival in a growing league. We asked this question before. What are some of the best rivalries in sports? LeBron Curry. Now you have Reese Clark. That right there in a nut, like right there, like you have an established rivalry in a budding sport that's going to continue to grow. Her, you know that. Yeah, I can see it. I can absolutely see this happening. I'm not saying it will, but I can see this happening for sure. All right. And then our last topic, Kelsey Plum, and we'll make this one quick. Kelsey Plum, it's been reported that one or two teams that she might be going to next season and this is reported by a friend of the show. Shout out to Annie Costobal, reporter for the Chicago Sun-Times. If Plum moves to the West Coast, it makes the most immediate sense, obviously being from California. So she's thinking that they do a sign and trade for Jewel Lloyd to go to Vegas, and then she would end up in Seattle, or she play for the Los Angeles Sparks. If I'm the Sparks, I'm getting Dejanay Carrington. If you throw money at Kelsey Plum, I'm signing Carrington. But I do want to read this because this is a good point. So she said another intriguing landing spot is Los Angeles. The distance between the Aces organization and the Sparks is vast. I mean, it's really close. It's like a 20-hour airplane flight. Plum could be a key addition in a turnaround. Neither of these situations put Plum in a position to win a title, but the Aces, re-signing with the Aces, the best path forward if title contention is her top priority. Also, the Aces can court Kelsey Plum if she does want to stay there. What are your thoughts about, I guess, where she should play? You know, my thinking is she should go to Golden State and just.
Yeah, I know. That's actually what I was gonna say. It's like you were right about all the investigation, but it's like just the wrong team. Yeah, I mean, she'd be going to the West Coast. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think she's gonna change much there. Like you know, Costabal said, like she's not winning a championship anywhere.
I was about to say that anywhere, yeah.
Like anywhere, unless you're playing for the Liberty, like you're not going to win a championship. So, I mean, for Jewel Lloyd, like, I mean, how do you think she'd fit in with the Aces, Lloyd?
She'd do fine. She'd do fine playing with Asia, but I don't think it helps them get any better. I think you just swapping one guard for another. You know, I think
so too. I agree. Like it's a
need an overhaul. Like
it's a horizontal move, just horizontal. You know.
And I don't mean like overhaul like their roster is bad, but like they need to get they need to change it up a little bit now because they're too small to play against New York. Like it's just really that simple. So now it's like, okay, how can you kind of you're not going to compete against them with 2 or 3 guards anymore. That chapter is gone. So if I'm Kelsey and I know I'm not going to win, I'm going to go play. I'm definitely going to go play Golden State and go make that money and go chill. Go play at Golden State, go make that money and be on that trash team. They're gonna get people. They're gonna get people. I mean, they're gonna get people. It'll help them out eventually, but play on that team for right now. Do the sanitation thing, and then retire. You know, because the question is, who are they going to get? Because they're gonna get somebody. I don't know when, but they're gonna get free agents. They're gonna get free agents there because the building is too nice to keep their roster intact the way it is without adding pieces. And they're going to trade away some people. They're going to get new draft picks. The Golden State Valkyries are going to be fine. Joe Lacob has already shown he's going to build a winner. So I expect that to happen in that city. I don't know when, but I expect that to happen.
Maybe. I don't know, man. Like the Liberty are kind of young. They're going to be around for a while. So.
Let me read this comment. My guy said, Paige, y'all can request up. We're gonna in the YouTube in a second. Paige, brother, don't move the needle like that. Oh, he's talking about Paige being the superstar talent. Paige not more exciting to watch than Hannah Hidalgo. No, she is not. Not right now. And she just got hurt the other day too. So shout out to Paige. Speaking of Hannah Hidalgo, peep this pass by her teammate Olivia Miles. Don't let this young woman end up in Chicago and/or Los Angeles. But what a dime. Do you see this? 1-2. I've never seen nothing like this. Maybe Jason Williams off the elbow, but I've never seen nothing like that. That's a great pass.
She's been watching a lot of Jokic.
That's a fumble, bro. What a fumble. Missed the layup twice with the left hand.
Bro, did you see Miles go crazy?
Smoking layups. She should go crazy. Smoking layups, bro. I hate when they do that.
That's an intentional. I mean, that's a offensive foul, but okay.
Yeah. So any of that, Jordan, closing thoughts before we close out? And then I'm gonna add some people up here. Y'all can come chime in. I'm gonna add.
I mean, I'm excited for tomorrow, man. Like, get to talk to some people and kind of take the temperature, of Unrivaled and kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna bug you about those questions tonight sometime. I have some questions. Like I said, I have some questions for all of them. You're gonna have questions for everybody, right?
I've got 500 questions for one player.
You're silly. All right. With that being said, my closing thoughts are: y'all stop being so hard on Joy Taylor. I mean, that's Miami, so I'm always gonna have her back. Shout out to Miami. And Skip Bayless, 1.5, bro. Come on, dog. Come on.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Somebody you gotta have friends in your ear telling you.
How do you even make that much? Like,
you gotta have friends in your ear telling you not to. Come on, bro. Like at least 100,000 at most. I mean, if we talking like, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't even do that. I'm saying.
Do you think this is some sort of like karmic justice or something?
Yes, I think
for all this hate that he put out in the universe. I think so too, bro.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so too. Like all this shit talking and coming after Westbrook and who else? Like LeBron, obviously for decades. Like, come on, man. This is bullshit.
And he gets his final hoorah. Not only did he lose his partner on national TV, talking about Shannon Sharp, pause.
He's gonna lose his real life partner, maybe.
Yeah, and he might end up. He lost his job. He lost his co-host. Now he might lose his real partner, and he might lose the respect of the people that actually respected him and the public. I mean, like you're harassing a woman for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to have sex with her, to the point where you say, "Hey, I'm gonna give my coworker $2 million." What if she'd have took that deal and then still sued him?
Well, that's the crazy part. Also,
I'm not saying she should have, because I'm not telling her she should have sex, but she should have theoretically had sex with the man, took his money, and then still sued him and then made triple the money.
But it's crazy because that's the part that, like, I feel crazy. Like young people, I don't say young people, but people that don't look into it just a little bit is like Skip Bayless has been this way for like 50 years though. Like those like Dallas Cowboys books, people like, oh yeah, he was at like the Miami Herald and the Dallas, New Times and the Chicago Sun-Times. It's like, bro, he was talking shit over there too. Like it just wasn't on national television.
Hating on Troy Aikman, this and that,
saying he's gay and oh my god, and then doing the Jerry, Jimmy, and the and the Switzer and
Spice and all that
bullshit. He's been on shit for a while. It just didn't, like, LeBron's the first one that like made it big on TV, but he's been fucking up people for a while.
Yeah. Closing thoughts, Skip Bayless. Sad to see it because I do enjoy listening to you speak. So it sucks to hear, and I definitely need to play. Tomorrow we're gonna still talk about this. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot more opinions.
I know it's so interesting, bro. This is
you already know Stephen A gonna have something to say tonight, which I'll chop up the sound and all that. We go. Oh, everybody that's listening, make sure y'all chime in tomorrow. We're gonna have sound from Unrivaled. I'm gonna just make sure I can get this stuff on YouTube. Follow the sports again. I'll put we're interviewing. Let me just get this last time for everybody before we close out. Let me get the list for y'all. We will be speaking from 11:30 till 2:30, 3 o'clock to De'Erica Hamby, Aaliyah Boston, Cameron Brink, Marina Maybury, Rakia Jackson, Angel Reeves, Kalia Copper, Lexi Hall, Jackie Young, Kate Martin, and a few other players as well. But those are like the gist of some of who we're speaking to. We will be speaking with a lot of players in Unrivaled. We'll also be doing it on Thursday, and I'll announce that roster then. With that being said, we out of here. Y'all follow the YouTube. We're going to go switch to TikTok. Why are you laughing?
Did you see Tyrese's comment? He's crazy.
What did Tyrese say? Ayo? Wait, why you say Ayo?
No, he said you the type to double Skip's offer.
What do you mean? Oh, me? I give him
Braden.
Oh, Braden. Let's put him on TikTok. Let's see what you gotta say. Let's add him on TikTok. All right, Jordan, we out, bro.
All right, I'll see you. Take care.